Okay, so I'm actually going to be breaking down another Julian clip. This one is actually only 5 seconds long, but I feel like something very important happened, and I think everyone can learn from it. This time, Julian is actually playing the Edge, so this is going to be the first Edge breakdown. Um, Unfortunately, Julian makes another mistake here. So I swear I'm gonna get into the videos where Julian does well, but I think like these are some very like common mistakes that even like really good players make, including myself, and I think we can all learn from them. So let's play the video. Okay, so as we can see there, it's only 5 seconds. So I'll just go through it. So sizing each other up, sizing each other up. Then Julian goes for a stab. Bam. And then the other guy stabs his teammate. Okay, so how did this happen? Well, first off, let's look at the spacing. It always starts with the spacing and positioning. So look at these two guys, and now look at these two guys. So what do you guys notice about the spacing? I noticed that these guys have proper two-man spacing, or close to two-man spacing, and these guys are very clumped up together. So Julian, so this guy is matching this guy, but Julian is a bit too close to his two-man. So Julian should have probably been like more like over here. Um, so it always starts with the spacing, and because they had kind of clumped up spacing, um, by the time that Julian went to stab him, he's already in between the one and the two. Like it for like he's in this like Y, like he's at the bottom of the Y position or triangle, right? So you never want to be like in this middle area right here, right? Because then like you get sopped on by this guy, and then it's just bad news for you. If he was gonna stab him like this, well, first off, I wouldn't even recommend stabbing in the situation. I'll get to that later. But he should have been like more like over here, and then stabbing him from like this direction. So instead of being like in this Y middle area, instead of being here, he should have been over here and then stabbing him from over here, right? So he's not in the middle. Um, so how exactly was the enemy Edge able to swap on a Julian's teammate so easily, and how could Julian have protected his teammate? Well, by straight stabbing the opposite one, Julian gave the enemy Edge the initiative. So by stabbing him, it's now this guy's turn to attack, right? Now, usually, what you can do is if you properly read that this guy's going for a stab, sometimes you can get away with gambling and then catching him as they're about to go to your teammate. So Julian here decided to block because he was trying to protect himself, right? But if he didn't, he could have probably stabbed him while this guy was. Oops. So this guy is going towards his teammate, right? So if Julian just turned around with a stab and stabbed his back, he probably could have killed him. But with the duelist mentality, and probably still have a duelist mentality, but Julian probably like instead of like trying to preserve himself, he should have automatically went for a gamble and stabbed, and probably he could have probably either saved his teammate's life or at the very least traded him for a 1-to-1, right? So if this guy was killed and Julian stabbed this guy in the back, all of a sudden you have this 1v1, and Julian is a very good duelist, right? So he probably could have won that. So what could Julian have done here? Well, first off, maybe don't spacing obviously, and then don't just hand over the initiative to the enemy Edge. So instead of this, so Julian does a pretty good job of like holding a stab and like pushing forward here, but don't release the stab. Get close and then target swap. So push this guy with an upstab, sure, okay, and then swap, right? Because you have this guy's attention, but this guy isn't looking at you. So group fights are all about trickery, right? So you want to trick the enemy edge into thinking you're going to attack him, and then just swap for an easy kill. It's all about the easy kills, right? Um, and then the second thing he could have done is gamble the switch. So gamble. So instead of blocking, like he does here, he blocks. So he stabs, and then blocks. Do that, and then this guy's already going towards his teammate. So this would be a really good time to either. So Julian could, if Julian didn't block here, he could have killed him with the backstab, or he could have moved forward over here, killed him. But he kind of S keys, A and D, S and D keys, and his teammates are killed, or at least one of them is. So this is really like, let's just actually play the clip again, just so you guys see the full through, see everything again. Okay, so like at the core of it, this is like a duelist versus a group fight mentality. Like I know when you guys, including myself, like when we're on rates, we're always S keying and blocking because we're only concerned about preserving ourselves, right? But once you get to a group fight, you need to have a group fight mentality. All of a sudden, you're not only responsible for your life, you're responsible for your teammate's life as well. And you need to either trade or you need to protect him. And if he blocks and then you stab this guy, then all of a sudden he lives and he dies and you guys are up one, right? So it's not just all about you. It's not all about preserving yourself with an S key and block. It's about the guy beside you as well. So just keep that in mind. Cool. See ya.